Welcome to my 2019-2020 NBA regular season predictions for the Western Conference. Now, there's a few things I want to say before I get into this. First of all, the reason it took me so long to do this is because I thought that Chris Paul was going to be traded away from the Thunder, and because of that, I waited to see where he was going to go, but apparently trade talks have stalled. Second, I just want to say this is my opinion. You might not agree. You probably won't agree, and that's the great thing about sports, that we don't have to agree all the time. So, without further ado, let's get right into this. I'm going to be doing the Eastern Conference on a different video, but for right now, we're doing the loaded Western Conference. At number 8, to me, this is a no-brainer, but I've got the San Antonio Spurs. And yes, the West is much more loaded this season. And yes, they didn't do a crazy amount of stuff this offseason. But when you've got two All-Stars in DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge, who are very capable players, and you've still got the greatest coach of all time, in my opinion, Greg Popovich, and you've still got nice young players like Lonnie Walker, who I hope will be back and do some good things for them. Dejounte Murray, who I'm hoping will be back, and I hope he worked on his offensive game over the offseason. And I'm also excited to see Derek White, who was really good in the playoff series against the Nuggets. So to me, the Spurs are in the playoffs, and I just can't keep them out, and I will not be keeping them out until they actually are out, if that makes sense. At number 7, I have Damian Lillard's Portland Trailblazers. Now look, I have them at 7, but they could easily be higher. They're a team that I always think is going to be a low seed, and they end up getting a top 4 seed. I don't know how it happens. This year, I don't think it's going to be the case just because of how many top teams there are in the West, but they're definitely making the playoffs in my eyes. Now look, they have Damian Lillard. They traded for Hassan Whiteside. I'm not too sure about that trade, but once Yusuf Nurkic comes back, I think they'll be great. And CJ McCollum is coming off a great playoffs. They also got rid of Myers Leonard, which, it's so-so. They did lose Seth Curry, but look, I think Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Nurkic when he comes back, their little big three of Lillard, McCollum, and Nurkic is going to be good enough to get them into the playoffs. And anyone who thinks that they're not good enough to get into the playoffs, I'm going to ask you what you're smoking. Every team from here on out, the top 6 teams in the West, I can see them all winning the title, honestly. I like all the top 6 teams. I think they're all going to be very good. But first, I'm going to be starting off with the number 6 seed, and it is my Dubs. Now look, I like what we did in free agency, but the thing is, we do have a lot of young guys, a lot of unproven guys, a lot of guys who are going to be getting increased roles from what they've never gotten before. And that is, the lack of inexperience is going to cause some growing pains, We're going to have to work this thing out. I don't think we're going to be immediately great. I love the D'Lo signing. I think it will work well. It's just that the defense of that is going to be difficult. I love that we brought back Kevon Looney. Thank goodness. I wish we still had Quinn Cook. He was the only guy who could really create off the bench other than Iguodala and sometimes Livingston on given nights. But really, it's going to be very difficult to stay competitive in the regular season without Klay, but I do think once the playoffs come around, we are going to be giving some teams nightmares. Obviously, we lost Iggy. Obviously, we lost Sean Livingston, but we did get some good players. Willie Cauley-Stein, I really like Willie Cauley-Stein. I think he can be an improved JaVale for us because he has a mid-range game. I like Alec Burks. I think he's decent. The draft picks, we'll just have to see how they work out. We also traded for Omari Spellman, and I'm hoping he's going to be okay. I'm really excited to see how this team does, but I'm not going to put our expectations unrealistically high. Number 5 is the Houston Rockets, and we all know they added Russell Westbrook, got rid of Chris Paul, gave away a bunch of their draft picks, and look, they re-signed Austin Rivers, who was great for them last season. They re-signed Daniel House, who was whatever for them last season. I think they'll still be really good. I have them at number 5, as I already said, I think. But yeah, I think they will be able to work it out in the regular season with Harden and Westbrook. But once it comes down to it in the playoffs, they're going to go right back to their hero ball and they will not win a title. I am guaranteeing it. They are not even going to get out of the first round, okay? Okay. That's my opinion on this. Now look, a lot of people are very high on them. A lot of people think, "Ooh, you got rid of Chris Paul and you added Russell Westbrook." People are acting like Chris Paul is the scrubbiest scrub of all time. Chris Paul still did amazing things for them last season. He wasn't horrible. He wasn't I don't even know who to compare him to. He wasn't some horrible player. He wasn't I don't know why people were acting like he's a scrubby scrub. He's not the worst player of all time. Goodness sakes. He was doing good things for them. But honestly, I'm just excited to see how this team plays. I'm not super high on them, but I definitely think they'll do well enough in the regular season. Now we have a team that I am super, super high on. I think the Utah Jazz, depending on how much Donovan Mitchell progresses this season, could be title contenders. Now look, first, they trade for Mike Conley Jr. You give up Grayson Allen, you give up some other pieces, I don't remember exactly, but you got Mike Conley Jr., who is possibly the best point guard in the league that is not an all-star. He is an incredible player. He is great on the defensive end. He's a great playmaker. He can shoot. He can drive. He can get others involved. He is a very underrated player. Then they had Bojan Bogdanovic, who was averaging 18 points a game last season and was the leading scorer for the Pacers once Victor Oladipo went down. Bojan is a 3-and-D player. He is the exact player that everyone needs on their team, and the Jazz got him. And they got rid of Ricky Rubio too. They just did good things this offseason. They got rid of Derek Favors, who just was not working out for them, who was not the same player that he was supposed to be. Their offseason was just incredible. And you've still got the same guys, Joe Ingles, Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell. They are going to be great, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinion. And I'm just excited to see what they do out there. Number 3 is the Denver Nuggets, the Mile High City. Now look, there's two types of people. There's ones who say that Nikola Jokic is a franchise player that can lead you to a championship. And then there's others that say he's not. Now, I guess I'm somewhere in between. I'm a big fan of Jokic. I think he does everything super well on the basketball court. And when you see the supporting cast they have around him, you've got Jamal Murray, you've got Gary Harris, who I'm hoping plays better this season. You've got Will Barton. You've got Paul Millsap, who is now on a lower deal. I really like this team. And not to mention their bench. Torrey Craig, Malik Beasley. Those are two incredible guys who could be sixth men on any other team. I am really excited to see this team. Not to mention Mason Plumlee, one of the best backup centers in the league. This Denver Nuggets team is going to be great. But to me, they're going to be eliminated in the first round by the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, baby. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Lakers. And I have them as the 2 seed. And I think they're going to be a great team. And they can definitely be better than the Clippers, who I have at number 1, as I'm going to talk about them later. But the reason that they have them just a hair underneath is 2 words: load management. And because of LeBron getting older, he's going to be taking some load management. Anthony Davis gets injured literally all the time. Goodness sakes, it actually drives me crazy. I mean, obviously I don't wish for him to get injured. I hope he can stay healthy. But he gets these knick-knack injuries literally all the time. Anyways, enough with that little rant about Anthony Davis's injuries. They're going to have load management this season. So I just don't see them doing better record-wise than the Clippers, who, of course, they're going to do load management, but I do think their bench is better than the Lakers. So I got the Clippers at number 1 and the Lakers at number 2.
So a great 5 seconds.
Clippers bring it in. 5 seconds to go. Tie game. Seatbelts are fastened. Lou Williams for the win. Bingo!
Oh my goodness. That just happened. Lou Will. And the play before he gives it up, he says, I'm not passing this. I mean, going to his left route, it doesn't get any better.
And you see what this does.
At the end of the half, as Lou fires it up and in, that might count. In fact, I think it will.
You have Patrick Beverly.
Lou Williams would love to get to his left. Lay it up. Oh, with 3/10 of a second. He pulled that one out of his back pocket. Lou Williams.
And Lou Williams, one of the best in the league. You do not call timeouts so that the other team can game plan for you. Guys like Lou Williams are so good, they can just figure it out on the fly. It's exactly what he did. Took the clock all the way down. And when you're a shot maker like Lou Williams, it's just fine for you to take that shot basically at the buzzer to win the game. Not many guys make that shot, and Lou Williams is one of them.
And they are obvious title contenders. That's going to wrap it up for my NBA Western Conference predictions. Tell me what you think of my predictions down below in the comments. Remember to like the video. Remember, this is just my opinion. I'd love to have a discussion with you guys down below in the comments. And, yeah. See you guys in my Eastern Conference predictions.